In the spirit of the season, I figured I would show you folks a part of YouTube you may not know exists. Did you know that YouTube has a hood? Yes, they do. And I'll be glad to take you on a quick tour of it. So there are many entrances to this hood on YouTube. I'm picking this random street, but you could pick many other streets. I'll show you those other streets on another day, and it'll lead you to other parts of the hood than I'm going to show you today. But it's all one big hood on YouTube. And so here we go. We're going to start scrolling down the street that I've chose to get into the neighborhood. And you'll notice that pretty much any street you choose to enter the hood on YouTube, they have all the entrances decorated so that the neighborhood looks fairly harmless, that it looks seemingly normal, innocuous even. And it's only as you start going down the road, getting further into the neighborhood, that you start seeing clues as to the type of area you're headed into. And we're going to stop at this clue here. You see on the top of your screen a video and a title of a video. And what you need to know about this most vibrant community on YouTube is that they use certain words in place of white people. And one of those words is Edomites. Another word is Edom. And the other word is Esau. And those are the three words they like to use to mean white people. They use them as synonyms, the replacement words for white people. All through this most vibrant community on YouTube, you will see this theme. And I will show you with definitive proof as we scroll through here that this absolutely is what the words Edom and Edomites and Esau mean to this most vibrant community on YouTube. So here we go. Now, like I said, it doesn't matter which road you pick. It's going to be decorated. The entrance to the area, the street you pick, when you first turn on it here, will be decorated as such that it looks fairly normal. So you have to actually drive a long way down the street to get to the actual neighborhood. Now we start getting into the hood. So as you see here, Jacob chokes Esau. Well, I already explained to you that in this most vibrant community on YouTube, Esau means white people. Now, they've not really read our scriptures, but they've been told about our scriptures, and they've been told enough about our scriptures that they now understand that there is a dichotomy, that the Bible is about a dichotomy between Israel and his brother Esau and their descendants against each other. And so they have taken, which I will show you later, I'll show you the example later of how they deem white people are Edom. But for now, until we get to it, I'll just explain that since they think we are Edom, they don't think this. They don't really believe any of this. It's just a lying grift they have. But their whole scheme and their whole theme of their lie is that since they declare that white people are Edom, and that Edom is the enemy of Israel, and that Edom is the enemy of the Bible, that they also claim that they are Israel, and so therefore they are the heroes, the rivals of this enemy known as Edom in the Bible. And so they are the heroes, they are the Israelites, and whitey are the bad people and known as Edom. So that is the theme, the running theme through the entirety of this most vibrant community here on YouTube. And none of these channels, nor any of the titles of these videos, nor any of the millions and millions and millions of countless hours and hours and hours and hours of footage of these blacks spewing hateful speech directly at white people in the public, innocent white people just walking by, minding their own business. They're openly spewing hatred on cameras, vivid, clear as a bell. You can hear every word. It's absolute hate speech about white people. None of this in this vibrant community that they say, none of these titles that they put of the videos about us violate any of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. All right, so like we have at the top here, Jacob chokes Esau. That means, this title literally means and reads to everyone in this most vibrant community that a black chokes a white, and it's celebrating it. And the whole spirit of this video is showing the footage of the white being attacked and choked by the black, and this title is celebrating it. And the video being posted is a celebration of it for this most vibrant community on YouTube. And so that was a clue, and we'll start moving along. Here we go. We have this one. The Caucasian, the Edomites are the same, right? So there's your proof, more evidence. And I'm going to keep showing you more and more evidence till it's actual proof to you that this is indeed what they mean in this most vibrant community on YouTube. Anytime they put the word Edomites or Edom or Esau in a title, YouTube staff are already aware, very well aware of the fact that all of this most vibrant community, the hood on YouTube, means white people when they use any of those three words. So they know that this title, well, of course, this title is obvious. The Caucasian, the Edomites are the same. That one is self-explanatory, but all these others, like this one here, boy, these Edomites are disgusting. This says, boy, these white people are disgusting. Now, of course, if I put the opposite, oh, bad, baddie, hate speech violation, the whole nine. Here we go, another one. This guy says that whites are the Edomites, not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Caucasians are the Edomites according to God. There you go. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. And here's another. This is another one showing you right here that they mean white people every time they use the words Edomites, Edom, or Esau. This video here, boom, you'll see the future of Europeans next to the word Edomites. And I guarantee you if you click on this or any of these other videos, but this one in particular, you would get 14 minutes, 59 seconds of negative fate, terrible fate, destruction, ruin, slavery especially, coming to Europeans, or white people, as we are called by them. So, one other thing I want to show you about, not only do they call themselves Israel, but another thing they call themselves are Jacob, and they call themselves Jake for short. They think that's very clever, that that's short for Jacob, knowing that Israel was originally named Jacob. So they think that they're very clever, that they've come up with this Jake thing and call themselves that now. So in this hood on YouTube, this most vibrant hood on YouTube, anytime you see a title that says Jake or Jacob or Jakes, they mean blacks. Or if you see that say Israel or Israelites, it means blacks. All right, they mean blacks when they say these words in the videos, or they write those words in the titles. So whites can be saved just to be servants in the kingdom. See, their narrative that they tell themselves, even though our scriptures don't say this anywhere in them, they think that our scriptures, or they've convinced themselves that they're going to convince us somehow that our scriptures say that they are going to rise up and be the kingdom of Israel on earth, and that all of us who are Edom are going to be their servants, their slaves. And that is their wet dream that they fantasize about day and night. That is what they get up and live and eat and sleep and breathe and think about all day and night, every day. That is their ultimate goal, their ultimate fantasy, to enslave whites, have our women, have conquerorship over us. And that is the only plan for this movement. They have no interest in being godly, or biblical people or any of those things. They're only using our scriptures to dupe us into submitting to them, by duping us into believing that our scriptures somehow say that the blacks are Israel and that we're Edom. And I'll show you in here as we go further that not only are they wrong, but their story is totally whack. And they've figured out that their story is whack. So some of them have. So some of them are starting to break the cycle of calling whites Edomites. And they're starting to actually now this is only a handful of them, 99.999% of this neighborhood still loves calling white people Edomites. They love the whole idea of them being Israel and us being Edom. They love it. So 99.999% of this neighborhood, which means mostly all of the neighborhood, will always side with that they are Israel and whites are Edomites, and they will always call whites Edomites. But there are a very small handful of blacks who have figured out that that story is stupid and that their narrative is laughable, because there is no way for us to have ever been able to imitate them. We do not look anything like them. We are not their twins. They look nothing like us. We look nothing like them. And once they started figuring out that, oh, we're calling them Edom because they were red all over, I'll show you that later on as one of their thumbnails shows a picture of a white, and that they have red on their face, and it has arrows pointing all over it and says red all over like the Bible calls Esau. What they don't realize is, and what only a handful of them have finally noticed, is that Esau and Jacob are twin brothers. They look just alike. They look just alike. When Esau came out, he was a cracker, pure blood. And he had just lost a battle in the womb to Jacob. He was stressed. He came out stressed. Therefore, when we are stressed, any white person that's a pure white person is stressed, they turn red all over. So when he came out red all over. But Jacob could have come out red all over just as well. He just didn't, because he was the victor in the battle. He did not have the stress on him at the moment that Esau still had. All right, so Esau was still in perhaps pain and frustration as he was being birthed and all these things. Meanwhile, Jacob was okay. And he was fine, and he had calmed down, and as he came out, he was not red all over. But he can turn red all over just like Esau could. They are both red all over if they get stressed out, or they both could blush. They could both turn red, turn rosy red in the cheeks of the face. They could both show blood through the cheeks of the face. So, problem is, Esau did what he wasn't supposed to do. He went out and mated with a pair of nons, and those nons could not produce the same offspring, the pure offspring. Therefore, his offspring were ruined by his terrible decision. And so his offspring do not have the characteristics of our people, but they still look just like us for the most part. They are very, very similar to our image, and that's how they managed to imposter as Israelites. They managed to imposter as us because they look like us. But there is no other type that looks like the blacks. So what the blacks had to do to keep this narrative going that they have is they have now started, well, only a handful of them, I should say, because again, all of them are going to continue to call us Edomites. But the very tiny handful of blacks who figured out that their story is laughable, or one of them who's ever encountered someone like me in public who absolutely dumps on their fantasy in 2 seconds with nothing but scriptures, they have realized, oh crap, we've got to create some boogeyman blacks and call them the Edomites. That way we can be their twins. That way we can be the Israelites, because we don't look anything like white people, and we're calling white people Edom, and Edom looks exactly like Israel almost, and we don't look nothing like either one of them. So we can't be saying that. We got to come up with some blacks to make the boogeymen Edomites. And so that's what they've done, is now they have just started claiming, some of them, only a handful, have started claiming that there is a small tribe of blacks left in West Africa somewhere far away that they don't ever going to have to mess with, that they can blame as being the Edomites. Therefore, now they've got twins that match them that they can But you got to understand they have to shed calling white people Edomites if they're going to go with that grift. And that's why most of them are never going to go that road, even though it's more logical and makes their story make more sense. They're never going to go down that road because they absolutely love this stuff. So look here at the top of the screen. Cutting the whites on who salvation is for. Because they know enough about our scriptures to know that our scriptures say that Christ is only coming to save Israel. And so they know, and that's why they hate Jesus, by the way, and they do, even though you might not believe they do. They absolutely do. And I'll show you that as we get further in here. You'll see a thumbnail of them holding a poster up with a picture of Jesus with horns on it, saying Jesus is the devil on top of it. So here we have White Street Pastor, destroyed. We're going to just scroll on down. I'm sorry I've been taking so long. Whites face harsh judgment in Dallas, Texas. That would be 20 minutes and 42 seconds of nothing but pure hateful speech directed directly to a pair of innocent white people minding their own business who happen to stop and hear them screaming at them and screaming hateful speech at them and stop to question them. The curse is broken and the whites are afraid. All right. Reality check. White Japhethite. Edomite. See, that shows right there. They think Edomites are whites. That whites a steady copycat us, Negro Hebrews. See? Soldier Sunday. Who are the Edomites? Well, obviously, it's that big old family of whites right there. Man, look how beautiful that family is. My goodness. Look at all them blonde-haired kids. My gosh, what a gorgeous family y'all have. God bless y'all. Let's move on. Let's see here. We've just now even got into the neighborhood. We ain't even part of the way down the neighborhood yet. There we go. We're not even remotely close to anywhere near in the neighborhood yet. So here we go. No cap, Tampa, dealing with the whites. And they got this white girl upset, looks like. Maybe this white guy here too. Let's see here. Whites confess to the truth. White guy doing something silly, so they put whites at their best. Of course, they don't know the difference between there and there and there. Let's see here. As usual, because it's our grammar that we created, so can't expect them to know it, I guess. Let's see here. Two whites get a rude awakening. So here's 42 minutes and 11 seconds of pure hate speech spewing out in perfect audible clarity on video directly at white people, not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Not worthy of being given a strike. Not worthy of taking the video down. And the title is fine. Whites learn their judgment according to the Bible. So here's a 16-minute, 38-second clip of nothing but footage of blacks speaking pure hate speech nonstop to white people directly to their faces and on camera, audible, plain as day. Here's another 1 hour and 6 minutes of a white person being scolded and being told hate speech by blacks. And of course, they scream it at top volume and they scream out of context verses of our scriptures. And that's how they think that they defeat us, is by out of context screaming irrelevant, or not, I want to say irrelevant, but unrelated texts or verses of our scriptures to us. And they scream it, and then they make them repeat it and scream it again, and then we'll make them repeat it and scream it again, and they go, yeah, to themselves, like, yeah, talk that, Whitey. But really, they just had the guy scream the same verse 3 times. It doesn't really have anything to do with what they were trying to say. They just take all the text out of context. So, fire consuming whites on the 4th of July. Now, that's a pun on the 4th of July. They don't like America. They don't care about America. They celebrate the destruction of America. And so that shows that no one but our kind are Americans. We named ourselves that because we named this country that. And we only named ourselves that if we hail from here, or if we moved here and reside here. And it's only for our people. It's a name that our people gave ourselves. We don't need to call anyone else but ourselves the name American, because the others do not love America. All the rest are celebrating the destruction of America. So, every time you see, as I'm scrolling along here, every time you see the word Esau and Edomites, they're talking about white people. So right here, white people got our people bamboozled. See? Tried and failed. All whiteys will be destroyed. That's what this title says. And this would be 13 minutes and 34 seconds of this dude mumbling out of context verses of our scriptures, where he thinks that those scriptures, by using them out of context, proves to him and everybody else that we will be destroyed. Here's another one. Nasty whites failed attempt at shutting down the word. Christian madness. That's okay. That's not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Let's see here. White people, the Edomites. So there you are. Definitive evidence. Again, more and more and more. I just keep showing you more and more and more from this neighborhood that they always mean white people when they use the words Edomites, Edom, or Esau. White declares the true Jews are black. Oh man, if only they realized the irony of that statement. I would happily let them be the Jews. All right. White people, not original cave dwellers. Okay, this is one of the ones where they're trying, this is one of the blacks that's like, no, we can't be calling Edom white, because we got to be twins with Edom, Some other ones, Edomites kept calling the police on us, but the word must go out. See here. Here is a celebration of whites being targeted by lightning strikes more frequently. And that is the spirit of this video. It's posted in the spirit of the celebration of more whites being struck by lightning. And of course, it's probably BS. It's probably just, who-ish myths, but that Titus 1:14 tells us to pay no attention to. But this guy's going to take that clip, copy it, repost it, and he's celebrating this. And so this title and the spirit of the post of itself and everything coming from this channel here on the top of the screen is a celebration of the deaths of whites happening more frequently by lightning. That is not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Here we go. Whites and the fuzz get all hot, red, and bothered. Why? Because 23 minutes and 52 seconds of these blacks on the left of that top left thumbnail there, screaming hate speech, literal hate speech at white people, about white people. Here we go. Boom. These whites ran up on me talking that Jesus loves everybody. So in this video at the top here, some cucked lukewarm white walked up going, hey man, relax man, Jesus loves you and me and everybody, man. And that's the kind that end up bowing to them and being duped because they don't know their own scriptures. Here we go. Raging whites try to fight us because they know their kingdom, America, is falling. Whose kingdom is America, they said? Our kingdom is America, they say in this title. So there you go. They know that America is our kingdom, not theirs. They know it's our kingdom. And that's why they hate it, and that's why they want it destroyed. And that's why it ticks me off to the utter ends of the earth when we see these idiotic, conservative morons putting these people in positions of power, quoting them as though they have wisdom, thinking of them as though they're on our side. You saw all these cucks cheering on that, whatever that one was that they were cheering on to become Speaker of the House. They were going to make one a Speaker of the House over our people instead of McCarthy, who, yeah, he might be part of the swamp, but he's one of ours. The Bible says, make it ours, not any stranger. Okay? And when you're offered something that the Bible tells you not to do, and the only other option you got is something you don't want, but at least it doesn't go against what the Bible says, you pick what doesn't go against what the Bible says. And I know I had people tripping watching me in the live chat on Fox or whatever it was that was actually allowing the live chat that bajillions of people were on. I was flooding that live chat with comment after comment saying, stop cheering on this stranger to be Speaker of the House over us. You're stupid. Okay? They are not supposed to be above us ever in anything. They're not supposed to be a manager over our people at a Dollar General store. They're not supposed to be in our government. Our Bible tells us no. God commands no. No stranger above you. No stranger above you. No stranger. How much more clear does God have to be? And this right here is perfect evidence, a glaring, perfect, shining example of why they hate our kingdom that God blessed us to have. They hate it. They can't wait to take over every position as they're handed to them, as the positions are handed to them, and use them to ruin us, destroy us, ban us, make us illegal, make everything we love illegal, make everything that we care about illegal, make everything that we do illegal. That's their goal. And then, once they have all that, they know that they have us basically enslaved. And then at that point, they've got us exactly where their wet dream has always been that they wanted us. To being their servants and our women to being their sex slaves. That's what they want. They don't want their females. They want our females. Nobody wants their females, not even them. So, they want our women. They want our stuff. And that's as far as they can get in this life, you know. No matter what they ever do, they're never ever going to be us. They're never ever going to be white men. They're never ever going to be white people. They'll never ever produce white children. No matter how many times they try to mate with a white woman, they cannot produce a white kid. It's never going to happen. And neither will 20 generations after them. Will any of their seed ever be white children? That is impossible. They cannot produce white people. Only white people produce white people. Comprehend this. So, here you have it. This title is a perfect glaring example. They hate our country. They hate America. Stop trying to put them in our government. Good grief. Freaking idiots that do that. I can't believe people actually still try to put those in our government. And stop hiring them. Okay? You own a business? Or someone asks you if you know someone that needs a job because your company's looking for another person? Don't give them jobs with you. Don't get them hired at jobs. Okay? We already have enough problems getting our jobs and keeping our jobs and maintaining our jobs because of all this diversity garbage and affirmative action garbage and all that other garbage that's being imposed against whites. We already have enough competition as it is. We're already being freaking swamped and enthralled as it is. Don't make it worse. Moving on. Sorry I sat so long in one spot. When are Edomites, so-called white Christians in Christianity, going to admit the truth? And of course, what this idiot thinks is the truth is the blacks are Israel. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy. And now we haven't even got to the good stuff. Here we go. Destroying the whites. Midnight deliverance service. If you watched this 1 hour and 11 minutes and 31 seconds, you would enjoy 1 hour and 11 minutes and 31 seconds of nothing but pure hate speech about white people, to white people, for this guy's kind, to help figure out new ways and more ways to help accelerate the destruction of Edomites, as they call us, along. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Now, who are the Edomites today? Ooh, check it out right here. This is what I was telling you about earlier, the thumbnail that I told you we would eventually see as we scrolled further in the neighborhood. So, you see here that he has the arrows pointing to the blushing that our faces can do that theirs cannot. Little do they know Adam means man who can blush. So all they're doing is proving that we are Adam kind, that we are mankind. But they don't know that because they don't understand our scriptures. So here they are showing right here that Edom was red all over when he was born. Well, guess what? His twin brother can be red all over anytime he's stressed out also. So, white and ruddy. That's what that kid is right there. White and ruddy, just like King David. Now, let's move on down. You'll see here, this top of the screen. Somebody doesn't like this particular black, and so they're going to start calling him an Edomite also. The Lord hates whites, says this black right here. And his video and his title and the spirit of his title and meaning white people when he says that right there does not violate YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Scroll on down. 2 vagabond whites bow and accept future slavery. There is their end goal for you and I and your children and your grandchildren. This is their only goal. They don't care about being biblical people. They don't care about our scriptures. They're using our scriptures out of context to our duped, lukewarm, doofus, moron people who don't know our scriptures because they're lazy and mentally deficient. And so they are duped into, and that's why you see some of these cucks bow to them and everything, kissing their boots, bowing to them, apologizing to them. All because they've never read their own Bible. Unbelievable. But see, this 2 vagabond whites bowing and accepting future slavery, not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy, nor is the 30 minutes and 3 seconds of the video footage of these blacks berating whites, talking crap about whites, screaming out of context over and over again Bible verses that don't even pertain to what they're really trying to accuse of whites or tell whites is going to happen to them. And so you can bet your butt here in this 30 minutes and 3 seconds, they will be telling the white people that they will be the slaves of the blacks and that they will be the slaves and all this. It will be happening, you know. So that's all hate speech. Hateful speech directly into the camera, directly at the white people. Audible, clear as day. The YouTube staff knows it's being said in all these videos. And yet still none of these videos, this video on the top of the screen here, and none of these other videos in this most vibrant community on YouTube, this hood on YouTube, are a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Let's scroll on down. I got plenty more to show you here. I got a lot of them to show you. So, and they get better. That's why I hope you stick around and see some more of these because they actually get better as we go, believe it or not. Now, here's one, whites come up slithering. White says he's sorry, but is he really? I'm surrounded by whites in Nordonia. Oh, the terror of it all. Whites are crying in the end times. Edomites, white people, the descendants of Esau will be punished by the Lord. Let's read it again. Only let's read it the way they really want it to read. White people, the descendants of Esau, will be punished by the Lord. That is their grift right there. Over and over and over and over and over again. That's all these dudes will keep saying. Look at his freaking thumbnail. Romans equals Edomites. Caucasians equals Edomites. So that's what they mean every time. Period, dot. And look, white punching bag gets obliterated, right? And you'll notice he's even got a little thing about the dude's preferences there. And if I had that on a thumbnail, even going against my own kind, I would get a strike, but they don't. That's okay because, again, in the hood on YouTube, in this most vibrant community on all of YouTube, they're allowed to criticize everything and anything, and it's all good. They don't get violations of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. So, the whites are the criminals of the earth. God will judge, not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Here we go. Whites can't take responsibility as Jake comes with the NWA spirit. Now, of course, like I told you earlier, Jake, they think that's their clever nickname for themselves to mean short for Jacob or Jacobites. All right, here we go. The tricked of the Edomites, a.k.a. the Caucasian. Of course, he means the tricks, I guess, not the tricked of the Edomites. But who knows? Who knows what he means? Maybe he does mean it that way. I doubt it, though. Most of these folks are not exactly grammar scholars, as you can tell. All right, let's move on down here. Get to more of the good stuff. Obliterating doctrines, whites, wickedness at Bricktown in OKC. Okay. Whites want to be oppressed so bad. This title, the video, the spirit behind it, not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. The whites, the greatest identity thieves in history. Because it's so easy for us to steal and convince blacks that we are blacks. So that way we could end up taking over their identity slowly over time. I mean, we look just like them, right? So how could we not convince them of that? Anyway, keeping it real, the Edomites, the Caucasian, the white man, one and the same. Of course, he means one in the same, not one and the same, but... The fate of the whiteys. Here it is. You see that thumbnail on the top left here? You see all those black kings with their crowns on their heads overlooking and watching all the white slaves stringing along, dragging that cart for them. That is the plan they have for you. That is the black Hebrew Israelite wet dream. That's the ultimate goal of their non-existent scriptures for themselves that isn't written in our scriptures anywhere. But this is what they believe our scriptures say about them. Well, they don't really. This is the thing is we all know they don't believe any of this. They know that they are full of it 100%. They know they're just 100% liars. But it's making them feel good about themselves. It's making their other of their kind feel good about themselves when they spread it around to their others. And so this, like any other thing, no matter how ill-gotten it is or no matter how fake or a lie it is, if it makes them feel better about themselves, they accept it and roll with it and ride the wheels off of it. So this is what they hope will be the fate of Whitey. Now, of course, we know that our scriptures say that white people indeed will be brought very low and that they will be brought very high. But it doesn't say that they will be brought high because they're the kingdom of God in Israel and that we are Edom. In fact, it says the exact opposite of that in our scriptures. It says that the whites, or Israel, will be brought very low. Not Edom. Israel will be brought all the way down, very low. And we will be down to our lowest point almost ever, maybe ever in all of our human history. And that is the moment when Christ returns to scoop the remainder of us up that are alive, which I won't be. That'll be 200 years from now. But whoever is alive, he will scoop them up and he will bring them up to heaven along with all the dead who are saved in Christ. And that will be that. So that's what our scriptures say. Our scriptures don't say that Edom is going to be brought low and that Israel is going to conquer them and rule the world and have the kingdom of God on earth. That's not what it says at all. God's going to destroy this entire earth and everything on it. And he's going to do so right after he destroys. Well, actually, he's going to destroy the earth on his first visit when he comes to get us. When he comes to save Israel, he's going to wipe out the earth. The earth's going to be destroyed. But it's going to be destroyed even further when we return one day later from heaven, which will be 1,000 earth years, but it'll be one day in heaven with God. It'll be the first Sabbath day in heaven we've ever spent with God since creation week. And so we will be in heaven for that day. It'll be 1,000 earth years. We're going to come back. And when we come back, they're all the dead and all the damned are going to be reanimated and they're going to attack heaven. And that is when the final destruction comes. They will all be killed in the second death. That'll be that. The earth will be utterly destroyed forever and ever, and a new earth will be created. And we will live on a new earth. And that is where the kingdom of God will dwell with his people, will be in the new earth. It has nothing to do with right now and what you see being rose up. In fact, our scriptures say that the beasts will be handed over power over Israel. And so in the end times, whoever is in charge will be known as the beasts. And so, who do we see being given all of our positions of power over us right now in our government? So, put 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 together. It's very easy. All right, here we go. They also call us Ishmaelites sometimes because they know that Ishmael is not a part of Israel. He was his own entity separate from Israel, and so they know that Ishmaelites are not Israelites. So sometimes, once in a blue moon, you'll see one of them call us Ishmaelites or Japhethites, depending on how they spell it. But whites telling blacks they are the true Hebrew Israelites. White people are Edomites. You know he doesn't mean that as a question. That's a declarative statement. He just added the question mark there. But he already believes that we are. Let's see here. Moving along. And remember, none of this you've seen. None of these videos you've seen. None of the hours of footage on each one you could click and watch and hear plain as day all the hate speech of. None of these hateful titles about white people violate any of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. All right, so even though they get upset with me making a comment now and then, and I do a lot of comments actually. I comment all the time, and I use my channel to do the comments so that people will see my comment and then perhaps check my channel. And, you know, I say what I want to say. And if they don't like it, once in a while they give me a strike, or they tell me I can't comment for a day, which I couldn't comment all day yesterday. And I guess it hasn't been 24 hours yet, so I still can't comment now. I'm still on my 24 hours that I can't comment. So, and why? Because they called it, my comment, a violation of their hate speech policy guidelines. Got it? And you got to hit the little stupid got it button, and then you can use YouTube again. So, I've had to do that several times over the course of, a period of months or whatever it's been. And, if they're going to be like that, then we should see the other side here. The hood that doesn't have any of that scrutiny. So here we go. Here's one. Remember how I told you earlier that some blacks understand that their story is laughable and if they keep white as Edom? Well, there you go. This one figured that out, that their story is stupid and laughable. And so now he's trying to help correct some of his type into believing, into creating some black boogeymen to be the Edomites so that they can be the twins. But right back to the regular old everywhere else in the hood here. Whites come up and receive judgment. Scoffing whites are back at it like a crack addict. Whites professing love with war in their hearts. Of course, he meant war in their hearts, and I already understand that's what he means there. So I guarantee if you click on this, there will be a cucked, lukewarm a white guy on the left there, like you see on the thumbnail. And he'll be telling all these dudes, God loves y'all, Jesus loves all y'all, and he loves me too, and he loves all of us. He's open borders, and the whole thing. He's multi-culty. And meanwhile, this dude will be using our own scriptures and say, no, moron, it says right here, what's it say in that verse? And then the guy will scream a verse that's out of context. And then he'll be like, what's it say again? And the dude will scream it again out of context. And they'll be like, say it one more time. And the dude will scream it again. And they'll be like, yeah, Whitey, yeah. Like they defeated him. And he'll be confused because he won't understand why that out of context verse, why they screamed it 3 times in a row as though it meant anything, because it won't mean anything. And then to the verse, or to the matter. And then once they get through that whole thing, you'll just continue hearing through the whole 51 minutes and 38 seconds, nothing but them screaming scriptures as though they are hateful rhetoric at white people, and also just directly saying hateful speech at white people, at this white guy right here on the left. But that video, 51 minutes, 38 seconds of that footage, and the title will not be a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Here we go. Look, Black Edomites. You would be surprised. This is one that's, figured it out. And, of course, if you look at the channel name, they don't got any problem with that either because, again, he's in the hood. He's got the hood privilege thing here on YouTube. Here's a funny one, the Israelites. Italians are Edomites. Oh, man, who would have thought it? Only the Italians, y'all. So I guess we're clear on this one. Only the Italians, they're the freaking Edomites. All right. That was probably not very good Italian English there. Okay, so, what do we got here? What do we got? Oh, man, so much more. So much more. I haven't even got to the best stuff yet. I hope you're still here. All right, here we go. Whites are going to be terrified very soon. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. The fate of whites is sealed, it says. All right, and if you click on that, I'm sure it'd be 28 minutes, 13 seconds of him talking about terrible negative fate that's coming toward white people's way. How the whites weaponized pork. Okay then. The big payback. White people, Edomites, worst nightmare coming soon. That title means the big payback against white people. The white people's worst nightmare is coming soon. Guarantee you watch that 4-minute, 45-second video, it'd be all about white people having a terrible future coming their way. Just like you can see in the pictures on the thumbnail. You see the elderly white man, and he's crying, he's got his hands up. Yep. Who and what are Edomites from the Bible? What does it have in the thumbnail for an example of who an Edomite is? A white guy on a book. All right. The whites know their kingdom is finished. That's America. That's Europe. And they're celebrating that your kingdom is finished. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. You Edomites, that means whites. You whites are about to reap what you have sown. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Moving on. Look, there's one Black Edomite. Because he's figured it out. Their story is stupid. They have to fix it as best they can. All right. Whites is crazy out there. Woo! Watch out. Whites crazy out here, y'all. Whites will be destroyed. All whites will be destroyed. Part 1. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. This video has been on YouTube 11 years. And it's got multiple parts with the same title name. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Go. Let's see here. Jakes will eventually go after these Edomites. Now, if you click on this video, we'll just click on it. We'll let you see. This video is all about, it's showing a young black chasing down and attacking an elderly white man, a defenseless elderly white man. He tries to shoot the white man. He tries to shoot the elderly white man in the back, but his gun jammed. Thank God his gun jammed. And so this worthless piece of garbage didn't manage to kill one of our elders. But you'll notice that the video is posted to celebrate this attack. It's not posted to warn you about the attack. It's not posted to show you some crime that happened. Be aware of this crime that happened. No, it's saying blacks, because Jakes are what they use as a word meaning blacks in the hood here. Blacks will eventually go after these whites. And then it shows that video. So the spirit of the post of this video and the spirit behind and the name behind the title mean exactly that blacks will eventually attack whites. And it shows a black attacking a white in the video. not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Here we go. We will celebrate your fall, white people. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech guidelines. Policy guidelines, sorry, whichever way y'all word it. Trying to word it the way you like to word it. Got it? Got it? Hit the got it button. You got it, YouTube? Trying to word it your way. Got it? Let's see here. These whites want all the smoke. Okay. Let's keep on going. All right. Oh, here's a black that's figured out their story was stupid and laughable. Do you know that the Edomites are the Africans? All right. Well, at least you figured out that their story is stupid and laughable. Let's see here. Whites are showing their true self. There we go again with someone who doesn't know the difference between there, and there. As usual. All right, let's see here. Edomites are red, yeah, and so is their twin, Jacob. Oh, man, and Edomites are not red, funny enough. Only their grandfather was. All right, let's see here. What we got? Hell is coming to you, whites. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Let's see here. The whites were created to be the wicked. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Edomites, white people, know who we are. That is confirmation that they do in fact mean white people every time they say Edomites. These whites hate your guts. Nothing's changed. Gen Z whites think we should forget the past crimes of their ancestors. Whites, the Adoma and Edo of West Africa. That guy probably is trying to say the blacks are Edom so that they can be the Israelites. Let's see here. Moving on. You whites are gonna beg for the Sabbath in the kingdom. You see that right there? What do you see? Now, there's some irony in this thumbnail, I should say. I'll point it out. But, well, no, let me not point it out, but I just want to notice, or point out to you that I noticed some irony in this thumbnail. But look at who's tied up. That's you. That's your son. That's your elderly grandfather or your elderly dad when he's in his old age. That's your grandboy. That's your little toddler grandboy. That's what they look forward to. That's what this Black Hebrew movement is all about. Should we hate the white people? That's what that says. Whites bow to Israel. What do they got there? A white. And what is she doing? She's bowing. So they mean Edomites, white people. Bow to Israel. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. What do we got here? Let's see. More truth about these whites. Let's see. It gets better. I promise you it gets better. Just hang in there with me. Biblical Edomites. Who's it show on the left next to it? Who's it show in the thumbnail, YouTube staff? White people. God forbid we want our schools to have only our kind in them. Oh my gosh, the humanity of it all. Let's see here. The Lord hates the whites, not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Salvation is only for the Edomites? That's the dumbest question I ever saw. Let's see here. Let me get to some of the better ones. Here was an interesting one I noticed. So about a year ago, I guess this is back when DeSantis first... Of course, he's the governor down in Florida that got popular for going against CRT and supposedly, I don't know if it's true, but he supposedly banned CRT from being taught in schools in Florida. I hope that's true. And obviously that butthurt some YouTuber here, and so they posted about it. And what they put, the whites are hurt. The truth is coming out. You know? And they're mad because DeSantis is blocking the truth. which they consider CRT to be, from coming out. All right, moving on. Whites angry they have to go into slavery. So this right here will be 23 minutes and 25 seconds of nonstop hate speech. Literal hate speech. Directly at white people, directly into the camera, clear as day, audio clear as a bell, saying nothing but hate speech toward white people directly in their face in the public there as they walk by. And the title is matching with the spirit of the video and the words in the footage being spewed at white people. And all of it together, the whole package, the 23 minutes, 25 seconds of hate, literal hate speech being audibly spoken at white people on video, and the title supporting it. None of it, all wrapped up together, still is a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Not a violation, no problem. Been on there 7 years with 18,000 views. No problems. Here we go. Don't be timid around these whites. We are their future masters. That's their plan. That is their whole plan behind this movement. Like I keep stressing to you, there is nothing biblical about them. There's nothing. They don't plan on doing anything biblical. They literally could care less about any of that. They don't care about our Bible or any of that mess. They only care about using it to dupe us into letting them take us over. That's it. And as soon as they take us over, now they will enslave us like they wanted to all along. And that's all that's for. White men, Edomites, are pedophiles. Okay. Nice. Not a violation. This title right here, not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Been on here for 4 years. No problem. All right. Of course, they call America Babylon. You know, of course, we understand that God gave us this land and that it's our new Jerusalem, USA being the center 3 letters of the word and the name Jerusalem. And so we understand that this is our new land, which was originally the pre-flood world, the original old world, the original Garden of Eden. And we had to rediscover it after we had to escape the Catholic Church, which of course is ran by the you-know-whos. And so we created America, but we started off in America. We were the first ones here when it was the Garden of Eden, when it was the pre-flood world. And that's why we have all these old stone structures in America and things. They weren't created by feathers that were living around here. And when we asked feathers, when we came back over here, how they built all these things and why they had no new construction and why they had no tools to build any of the things, they admitted right then to us in real time that they didn't build any of it and that they were just moping around and they found it and they started using those things. And so the stone structures you see all over America that are old and ancient and magnificent and don't seem to make sense because they seem to match the old world on the other side is because this is the original old world. And all you're seeing are artifacts from the pre-flood world, not the feathers. Anyway, I don't want to get off topic on that, but let's see here. But the reason I mentioned it, this just triggered my memory because, you know, they call America Babylon, but we know better than that. We know that this is our new promised land. This is our new promised land. The United States is our new God's land for his people. And our ancestors understood that it was and wrote that it was as such. So we understand it is. They consider this their hell, you know, even though they never want to leave it because they'd have to leave access to us. And they never want to give up access to us. So they'll never leave willingly. But they treat America as a place they hate. They think of America as a place they hate. And they call it Babylon. And you see here that they say America is Babylon. And their title is, even whites are seeing that America is Babylon now. Why not you? And of course, you see a lot of cuck churches call our country Babylon too. All these lukewarm ones. They're the first ones to call our own countries Babylon. They're the first ones to ridicule any of our people who've ever stood up and done anything for our people. They're the first ones to join on that whole, bandwagon. So, all right, let's move on. Almost to the good stuff here for the ones I wanted to show you. All right. Wake y'all ass up. Edomites know who they are. You whites will pay. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Let's see here. Race riots on the rise. Jacob versus Esau. That means black versus white. Israelites versus the Edomites. In their world, that means blacks versus the whites. And this is a celebration that they are ramping up their riots, ruining our cities, destroying more and more of our things. This is a celebration of that by posting this video. It's posted in the spirit of celebration of their destruction of our country by riots. It was posted 10 years ago. No violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. The history of the Edomites. What do they show next to it, guys? What do they show next to it, ladies? What do you see there? Come on now. That's right. Statue of a cracker. All right, moving on. This one they posted just to be able to watch this white lady walk around like this. And so this is, you'll notice the channel, Brother Chazak Israel. You know this dude probably masturbated to this video 10 million times. He probably still does 2 years later. But not only do they use it to drool at and drool over, but also they just, these are country girls and they've learned, after studying and being with four-legged animals all the time, they've learned how they run, and these girls are limber enough and they know how to make the same movements and motions, and so they're athletic enough to do so, limber enough to do so. So they're just having fun showing it off on the farm. And this Afrocentric thing decided to take this and not only, use it as his soft porn for the next couple of years, but also to try to show, look, white people's like animals, they the beasts, because they know what our Bible really says about them, and it hurts their feelings. It makes them mad. They're upset that they don't get to be us, and, so they figure if they can just insult us and ruin as many of us as possible and kill as many of us as possible and take as much of our crap as they possibly can and rape as many of our women as they possibly can before each of them die, then by golly, they at least got something out of us. They at least got to do something bad back to us, for their envy that they don't get to be like us, and it's nothing we can do about it. We didn't decide that they don't get to be like us. So they should just be mad at our God, not us. But instead, they take it out on us. And so that's that. Now, I wanted to show you this real quick. You see at the top of the screen, this video you see here on the top of the screen is actually a Afrocentric one, but the video that the Afrocentric dude is watching is actually a good video. And you'll see the title of that video in the top left there, White People Trending Towards Extinction. Now, I haven't went and visited that real video that's titled that yet and given it its thumbs up, but I do plan to go do so because I watched this video of this Afrocentric where he just, does like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 kind of deal and just kind of, babbles on top of what this guy's talking about, throwing his own little narratives at it. And, of course, he's in disagreement. He's celebrating, actually. I shouldn't say he's in disagreement. He's celebrating. And that's what the theme of this, that's the spirit of this video, the spirit of this post, and the spirit behind this title. And the meaning of this title is the celebration that white people are starting to feel the curses, they said. And it is true, these are our curses happening to us by our God, which proves that we are Israel, because God doesn't curse. He doesn't go around cursing others, unless they've done something directly to us. But God curses us when we misbehave. He doesn't really deal with the others the same way. And so you'll see here that he's celebrating, as he's watching this He hears this guy who's posting very valid points about how white people were manipulated back in the day and told, oh, teen pregnancy is a terrible, horrible problem. You got to get rid of that. And, oh, all of you should start using condoms and contraception and abortion and all these things to get your population control is going to be out of control. And now they're laughing at us going, ha ha, you were duped into lowering your birth rates. And now we got all the non-whites out breeding you, and haha, your birth rates are lower than your multiplier rates. So now you're dying off. You're heading toward extinction. And so this guy's post here, and the spirit behind the post, and the title are all a celebration of the extinction of whites. And yet, 4 years later, still not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. So, go. Let's see. Getting closer, getting closer. Let's see here. Keep on going. Here we go. Now here's the one I wanted to get to. And you see this thumbnail, YouTube staff? You know darn good and well what that thumbnail means to them. You know darn good and well what that thumbnail means to us white people. You know darn good and well that that is what this entire black Hebrew Israelite movement, that its goal and its wet dream is all about, is this thumbnail picture right here being manifested into reality. And yet, this has been on here, 5 months? And you've said nothing to these people. No strike against them. No, hey, violation of our YouTube hate speech policy guidelines. Got it? Click the got it button. No, nothing. No shade thrown this dude's way for this thumbnail, which is his wet dream. And everyone else in this entire page that I've been scrolling, this entire hood on YouTube, this is their ultimate wet dream, their ultimate end goal right here. And this is direct hate speech about white people. Whites will be paid back for all of their ancestors' sins. It says Edomites, but it shows a white woman right there in the cage. Who's it show carrying the white woman around in the cage, YouTube staff? Come on now. Don't act like we're stupid and we don't know what's going on. You're okay with this thumbnail while you give me one-day bans from being able to comment because I make a comment? A comment? And all of my comments are facts, by the way. Nothing of this video right here or this title are facts. Everything I post, every single comment that I post, every single video of mine that you've ever struck down and deleted was 100% facts. Real, reality, factual, reality, facts. Not opinions, not feelings, not wish we were's, not wannabes, not we was. Real, reality, actual facts that you don't like. And so, you give me strikes for real facts that you don't like being typed. You don't like being said out loud. But you're totally okay with anyone, not just in the hood here on YouTube. We could leave the hood, or we could go to a totally different part of the hood using a totally different road. We could type in white people. We could type in WYPYPO. Or we could type in WYPIPO. We could type in a whole bunch of other things. And we will find more and more and more and more and countless millions more hours of these types of videos with hours of nothing but pure hate speech coming out of blacks' mouths about white people, to white people, at white people, about white people. You have no problems with any of it. So, you see this thumbnail? Now I'm going to address you, the viewer. Do you see this thumbnail? This thumbnail is your daughter. This thumbnail is your wife. That thumbnail, that girl in that cage, is your dear mother. That white, beautiful, blonde, blue-eyed woman in that cage is your little granddaughter. When she gets old enough and grows up, and a little time passes, and she ends up looking like that. That's their end goal. Is by the time your little granddaughter grows up to about that age, they'll be in power and have her in that cage right there. That's their wet dream. That's their goal. They're not going to ever stop until they either are defeated by us or reach this goal you see right here on the top left of your screen in the thumbnail. It's hate speech against us, and YouTube does not give them a strike for violating hate speech policy guidelines of YouTube. This is their end goal for you. This is their end goal for your daughters. This is their end goal for your wife right in front of your face while they kill you. That's their goal. All right? Scrolling down to this one. White people are Edomites, a.k.a. the devil. There you have it. Right there, folks. It can't be more plain in plain words than that title right there. 1 year ago, no violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. 1,000 views. Been there a year. No violation of YouTube's hate speech guidelines. Look at that. That's right there. It says, white people are the devil. That's what it says. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Okay. So, you Edomites, you whites are getting smoked. That is not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Our power is effing you Edomites up for slavery. You know what that says? That says our power is effing you white people up for slavery. And look at the thumbnail. It shows blacks. Well, it doesn't show them defeating whites, funny enough. It actually shows them losing to whites, but they mean for it to appear as though they are defeating us. So, I guess maybe they're using this is you and y'all had the upper hand picture instead of a picture of them getting the upper hand. So, I don't know why they did that, but whatever. That would be 15 minutes, 41 seconds of pure vitriol, pure, actual, literal, realistic, reality, real, actual, factual hate speech against and to and about white people. But it's not a violation. And the title is not a violation. And the spirit behind the title is not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Here we have the next one. Edomites versus Israelites. Who do they show in the picture? They show whiteys on the left, blacks on the right. Edomites on the left, Israelites on the right. That's how they got it situated there. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Isn't that odd? Let's see here. Here's another one for you. God hates you whites. You see that thumbnail? That's what they have planned for you. This is what they have planned. That's you and your little boy right there next to each other. Or that's your twin sons right there. That's your two little toddler grandsons when they get to about 15 years old. And these types take power that want to take power over us. This is their plan. You know? Your little grandboy Bobby, that's him on the left over there. You know? Your favorite grandson, Jimmy, there he is, closest to the screen here. Closest to you in the image. That's your grandboys. That's what they got planned for them. And you see the word there in the middle of the thumbnail? Slavery. That's what they got planned for us. That's okay on YouTube. YouTube staff has no problem with them having this thumbnail, talking about and showing white people in the thumbnail here, having the hell beat out of them and being almost dead and totally enslaved, with the word slavery across it, and saying God hates you white people, knowing that Edomites means white people in this neighborhood and from this YouTuber. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Alright, the whites did not write the Bible. Yeah, no kidding. Edomites didn't write the Bible. No one says the Edomites wrote the Bible, and whites did write the Bible. That proves that we are not the Edomites. But anyway, alright. Of course, they mean that to mean that whites didn't write the Bible, but we did. Alright, so I think I've shown you as much as I need to show you about this part of the neighborhood. Now again, I could just keep going non-stop. Sick whites and their wicked ways, you know. And of course, now you notice here in this picture on the left at the top, it's always a drawing. It's always a drawing. It's an artist drawing or painting every single time. Photography existed during slavery. We have photographs taken during slavery of plantations. Okay? There are no pictures of blacks being bought or sold or whipped or enslaved or dragging a plow behind them or anything. There are no pictures of blacks slaving away whatsoever. I challenge you to find a picture of blacks, a real photograph of blacks, in any kind of situation like they show in these drawings. All you ever see are artist drawings. That's it. Jay's paid artists to draw fantasy scenarios of blacks being owned and whipped and sold and bought and da-da-da by whites. And that's the only way you ever see these kind of pictures. They are images, is because they are drawings. They are fantasy drawings. They might as well be a Bob Ross painting of people. It's totally fake. It's totally imaginary. Completely made up. Did not happen. The whole scenario you see there on the top left image was never a reality. Was never a real scenario. There was never a moment where all those were standing there like that. It's just total Jayish imagination. Barbaric whites love eating raw meat. Yeah, don't do that. We are commanded by our God not to eat blood. And if you eat raw meat, you are eating blood. And also, you get all kinds of parasites that way. It's a good way to die, quick and easy. Sure, some people can overcome all those parasites. I don't recommend it. And not only that, the Bible already said, don't eat it because it's got blood. Don't eat blood. Don't eat raw meat because you should not be eating blood. Our people are not supposed to do that. That's one of the many things that separates us from the beasts. All right, blacks have had enough of you whites. The Lord hates whites. Guarantee you click on that 14-minute, 28-second video, you'll get 14 minutes and 28 seconds of blacks using Bible verses out of context to insist that the Bible says that God hates white people. And that won't be a violation. 5 months has been on here, not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. You whites are not oppressed. Shut the hell up. Now you shut the hell up. We're tired of y'all's mouths. We're getting sick of it. And we're finally going to start calling it out for what it is. No mercy for you whites. Okay. Whites are usurpers. Alright, there's a video of some whites on the top left in the thumbnail, and it says whites being whites. And of course, that's what it says according to them. And a little puke emoji, you know, but even though they're obsessed with us and they never stop thinking and talking about us, but somehow we make them sick. Alright. All whites will bow down. not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Whites are cunning hunters. We'll let that one pass. Proof that whites are losing their hegemony. It's true. The system is so great due to whites' wickedness. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. All right. Let's see here. All right. Man. Oh, real quick. If you've made it this far, here's your little cookie I'm going to give you. So, if you type in who is Edom today, you will be given the answer right away, so long as you're not signed in. You see that? I had to sign out in order for it to give me this answer immediately. First thing on the screen, I will refresh the page. You saw just now, I just refreshed the page. Boom, there it is. I will scroll it back or squeeze it back down. I'll refresh it again. Boom, you see it's completely refreshing. There it is. I'm going to zoom it back in. Who's Edom? Who's Edom, Harambe Hebrews? Who is Edom? Read it. Not us. So you shut the hell up. And it'd be nice if you YouTube staffers would finally admit to yourselves these people are all, or these creatures are all liars that are coming after our people. And they have no right to be doing any of this nonsense. And so here we go. The white race, the Caucasian race. Of course, they call us Caucasian. We are not Caucasians. We are not from the Caucasus Mountains, and we are not Asians. But they like to use that word. That's an insult word to white people. Caucasian, calling a white person Caucasian is no different than calling a straight person cis. All right, they use it. It might not be an insult to you, but to them, they use it as a derogatory statement or a term toward you. All right, so when they use the word Caucasian, they're using it as an insult to white people. White people is exposed. Whites are going into slavery. You see, they all celebrate it. They all really think we're definitely going into slavery under them. And that they just got to keep repeating all this lie. I think what happened is someone must have taken that stupid book called The Secret or videos or whatever it was. One of my friends got suckered into that crap and bought the whole package and gave it to me. I never read or watched any of it because I already knew it was non-biblical horse garbage. But I'm thinking, because the whole concept of it, I read a little bit about it. Not it, but I read a little bit about it from a summary review of someone else. And the gist of it was that if you just keep repeating something, even if you know it's totally pipe dreamish, fantastical, ridiculous level, of absurd level of a fantasy, you just keep repeating it. Keep telling yourself it's definitely going to be the case. It's definitely going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. And you just constantly repeat that lie and you constantly tell yourself that. And eventually you will reality into being exactly what you insisted definitely has to be the case, right? Now, I could be wrong. That person could have given me wrong info about that book or / video or whatever it was called The Secret. But if I understand it correctly based off what I was told, and if what I was told is accurate, and that if that is indeed what The Secret was all about, or that's its whole gag that it spills, then that must be what was promoted all through the hood or something, and got all these blacks to be thinking that if they just keep repeating this lie long enough, even though it's completely ridiculous and absurd and utterly wrong and has no basis in reality whatsoever and has no way to actually totally come to fruition the way they want it to, they're still going to hang on to it forever. I mean, the full-blown Dunning-Kruger thing, or or they just will not accept. They're not going to accept anything but this. This is like they're going to make themselves believe it. They're going to demand that this reality becomes the reality, whether anybody likes it or whether it's ridiculous or not. And so I think that what must have happened in the hood is somebody must have spread around that video or that book or whatever it is that tells people to do that way, and that must be why they really think that if they do this long enough that they'll be successful. But let's see. And they see, what they see is they see themselves being bolstered everywhere. They see themselves being honored everywhere now on TV and in award shows and on all the commercials and they got the our cheerleader women are cheerleaders cheering them on the field of sports games. You should never be watching sports, and you should never have one of your daughters being a cheerleader or in dance. If you have your daughters in any of that, you are a fool, because all they're being trained to do is be taught to fall in love, and that it's fashionable to fall in love with a dark and when you are non-white, and when you freaking allow them to be in those things, that's exactly what they're conditioning them and physically, openly, purposely, forwardly training them to want to desire to do, is mate with a non-white, particularly a black, not any other kind. They particularly want to teach them to think and admire and idolize blacks. And how do they do that? By cheering next for them all day and night on the side of a football field or next to the basketball court or on the side of the baseball field, cheering them on nonstop. Okay, that conditions their minds to admire them. All right, it's idolization. It's idol worship. It's allowing our women to be cucked into idolizing them, to mating with them. It's exactly why our Bible says we are to live separate. We cannot enjoy things like sports anymore. You don't want to give up sports, you are a cuck, period. You're a cuck. Do you understand that sports is utterly useless to white people? We're paying blacks billions of dollars a year to dance around on a ball court, chasing a ball in the grass. It's useless to us. And they're getting billions of dollars out of us. They already get trillions of our dollars. And you idiots are going to watch a sports game that bolsters them even further? You morons! Sports is not our thing anymore. It was our thing in the 50s. Sports was our thing in the 40s and 30s and 20s. Sports is not ours anymore. We cucked that away. It's not ours anymore. It's now these other kind that I've been showing you example after example after example hate our guts. Do you listen to any of their music? You're a cuck if you do. You're fully cucked if you still do. And I don't want to hear your excuses. Oh, it's nostalgic. Oh, I grew up listening. Oh, I don't want to hear your excuse. God don't want to hear your excuse for your heathenism. God don't want to hear your excuse for your reason for your idol worship that you've got all reasoned out in your head. That it's okay because you've got common sense and power and control over it. No, you don't. If you're driving around playing their music, you're singing it, you're rapping it, you're doing whatever with it, you're just as cucked into it as the dumbest wigger alive. Sorry, I haven't been scrolling. Whites will go into slavery. Man, this guy can't wait. Boy, he rubs himself at night thinking about it. The Edomites, so-called white people, lynched all tribes of Israel. Oh, man, all right. White people's rulership is at an end. No forgiveness of sins for the whites. And of course, You see a white guy in the video, but this is a video of that white guy's video. So if you were to click on it, you would see that this he that super non-biblical word name there, he is probably has screen recorded this other white guy's video, and he's probably commenting about this white guy's comments in that video. All right, here. The Edomites are being revealed. And what does it show in the cartoon, y'all? A black pulling the veil off of a white guy that's all mad that he's being exposed. And look at his name. Babylon is fallen. They think white people world is Babylon. So, and they're celebrating your white people world, America, falling. That proves they are not Americans and they don't love America. So stop putting them in positions in America, in power. Don't make them a police chief. Don't hire them to be a supervisor over at your job. Don't hire them at all. The hell's wrong with you people? You see that they hate our guts. Why the hell would you hire one? I had a guy tell me a while back, he was talking about one. And he's like, oh man, I can't wait till you meet him, you know. He's the whitest one you've ever met. He acts just like a white guy, you know. The whitest black guy you ever met, right? I know all of you have heard that before about some random black, right? I met him. First thing he starts telling me, in the first hour I'm around the guy, he said, oh, the black people is the real. He starts mentions Kanye, and he starts going, well, black people are the real people of the Bible, you know. He wasn't no whitest black dude ever, no such thing as that. That dude was 100% Afrocentric. I found out in the first 30 minutes I was with him. There's no such thing. They all follow the same thing. When the blacks find something that bolsters them, it doesn't matter if it's a lie, it doesn't matter if it's theft from someone else, they're going to take it. And they're going to use 100% of it all the way maxed out to the wheels fall off of it, no matter what it is. And it doesn't matter. There is no shame involved. They aren't built with that. They're literally going straight for the prize every time. And whatever the prize is, if it's handed to them, if it's stolen for them, if it's laid in their lap, if they got to win it by diversity hire only, they don't care. They don't care. They'll smile all the way to the bank. They don't care. You know, you see all these cucked whites. Oh, I'd be so ashamed if I took a job that I got just based on my skin color. Well, guess what? They have zero issues taking a job for $100,000+ a year that they totally don't qualify for whatsoever from your white butt and putting it in their pocket. They have 0.0000000% concern or shame or 1 second of sleep loss at night over stealing your $100,000+ a year job from you. Okay? So stop with the whole thinking that they think like you. They don't think like you. You know, all these cucks are like, I don't see color. Well, guess what? They do. So it doesn't matter that you don't see color. That just makes you an idiot because every one of them do see color. And that's all they do see is color. That's all they see day and night is white people in their eyes. They open their eyes, they close their eyes, all they see is white people, white people, white people, white people. That's all they talk about. That's all they think about. That's all they compare themselves about. You don't see them caring about Asians. You don't see them caring about comparing themselves to Jays. You don't see them comparing themselves to Asians. You don't see them comparing themselves to Arabs. You don't see them trying to be anybody else. You don't see them desiring any other women. You don't see them wanting to be anybody else's ancient identity. And you don't see them talking crap about anyone else on YouTube. You don't see a whole hood of blacks talking smack on here about Asians or talking smack on here about Arabs. And of course, their excuse would be, yeah, they didn't enslave us. Bull crap! Guess what? Right now, in Muslim countries, there's millions of blacks that are slaves. And none of you give two craps. And none of you go walking around attacking Arabs and shooting Arabs and robbing Arabs and raping Arab women. Okay? Why? Because you're not interested in them. You want our stuff and you want our women. We aren't dumb. We know what you're up to. You ain't fooling anybody on this side of the aisle. White people are Edomites. Proof through gematria. Oh my gosh. Y'all are the last ones that should be trying to use numbers to do anything against white. Let's see here. Oh man, here's one. See, this is their imagery they show on TV day and night nowadays. And of course, this is their big thing, is their big weakness is white women, right? So do the female Edomites have power over Jake? That's them. The answer is yes. In fact, if we wanted to conquer them, if we wanted to be like, like the Jays and be clever and let someone else do our winning for us or win in some way without using weapons and fighting, we could actually just use our women to manipulate them into just offing themselves or doing anything we want. You know what I mean? We could have them commit mass suicide just by having a bunch of our hot women tell them, oh, all y'all gotta do is kill yourselves and we'll love y'all forever. Man, they be out lined up. What do we gotta do? What we gotta do, lady? Oh, man. Edomites are going extinct. White people are going extinct. And he's excited. See those exclamation points? He's excited. So, I guarantee you, click on this, 58 seconds. He's going to be giving you some info about how white people are going extinct. And his title of his video is celebrating that very fact. All right. The end of an era of the whites. Blacks beginning now. All right. Let's see here. White people are Edomites. Says it right there on the top. That is their position. All through this hood. No matter which road you take. Like I said, you could pick White People Lane. You could pick Waipipo Drive. You could pick Waipipo Avenue that's spelled slightly different. You could try Esau Boulevard. You could try Edom. And you could also do Edomite without an S. You notice I put an S on the end, but you can get rid of the S and it opens up even more of these videos where they don't have the S on the end as much. And, all right. Got that one there. That is not the title at the top that you see on the top of the screen for this video. At the top of the screen is not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. All right, what do we got here? Edomites, white people in parentheses, equals the wicked. So it says right there, white people equals the wicked. No violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Whites are full of deceit. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Judgment is set against you whites. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Here we go. All right, scrolling on down. White people are Edomites. Says it right there, top of the screen. We got here. Dear whites, submit to the Black Messiah, or what? Or get destroyed. So the spirit of this video and the title of this video and the spirit behind the title of this video, 100% of it all put together, still does not, nor does any part of it, violate YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Typing a title, having a title of your video, it's already been on here a month, having a title of your video that says, Dear Caucasians, that means white people, submit to the Black Messiah or get destroyed, is not a title that violates YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Whites are hypocrites, that one says. Okay. Absolute proof who the Edomites are today. What does it show on the thumbnail right next to it? White people. The biblical Esau Edom identified. So, whatever. Oh, okay, let's see. What's next? Party over for you white demons. America will be destroyed along with the whiteys. So, here you go again. Don't be putting these types as Speaker of the House in our government. Don't be cheering them on to become Supreme Court judges. Don't be hoping that they become the governor of your state or the mayor of your town or the police chief at your police municipality or the sheriff of your county or the supervisor at your grocery store. Why? Because they're looking forward to America being destroyed, and with all of us whiteys being destroyed along with it. So you don't give them jobs. You don't give them positions of power over white people in any way, shape, or form ever. Do you understand? All right. And by the way, this title and the spirit of the title and the hour and 14 minutes and 39 seconds of footage of hate speech about white people in the video, all of it plus the title put together are not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Why? Because it's talking bad about white people. And it's saying that white people are going to be destroyed. And it's saying that white people's America is going to be destroyed along with the white people. And so that's why it does not violate YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. But anything I say or do about a non-white will absolutely violate YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Even though I wouldn't say anywhere near the things these creatures have said about us in this video. Or in this example as I scroll along here in this neighborhood. So the Lord will slay whites upon his return. Well, funny, he is going to slay Edomites, so technically this statement is true. The only difference is this post, this op here, means white people. And the Lord will be slaying some white people when he returns. In fact, quite a few. More than he saves, I imagine. But that's not the spirit of this video at the top of the screen, nor is it the spirit of the title of that video. The spirit of the title, the spirit behind this title of this video at the top of the screen is celebration and hope that all white people are going to be destroyed. All right, let's see here. So-called white man, who is the red man? Edomites, red people, who are the covert psychopaths. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Totally okay for this black to say that we are covert psychopaths. Totally okay. Not hate speech toward white people. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Are whites born evil? What do they have right there? Are Edomites born evil? What is the picture? What is the picture? A little white baby with blue eyes looking at you. That's who they say Edomites are. That is the language they use in this hood. Whites are the devils. Period. 10 views. 4 months ago this thing's been up. 4 months it's been on YouTube. With white people are the devils. Period. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech guidelines. God hates Whitey. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech guidelines. All right, what we got here? Oh, here's you another drawing. Remember how I was talking about earlier how there's no such thing as pictures of black being mistreated anywhere because it doesn't exist. All it exists in is drawings. Here's another drawing in coal or in pencil, in graphite or something. It's a drawing. It's not a photograph. And what does it say? White's behavior. Of course, they don't ever put the apostrophe because they don't know how to use them correctly, apparently, but whatever. And then, let's see here. Whites, how they F the USA. History of a you-know-what holdup. Wow. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Moving on. Let's see here. Recognizing ancient Edom. Was it showing the thumbnail? Doesn't show anything but a whitey. Alright, let's keep going. And I could keep going, forever. But, yeah. Did I show you already who Edom actually is? I just wanted to make sure I actually did show you. I'm pretty sure I did earlier, but I've done this recording several times, and just wanted to show you again real quick who Edom is. All right, so let's go back. And let me just state that I probably didn't explain myself earlier that I did mention that this is signed out, and that I might have mentioned also that if you're signed in, it will not give you this line right here. This line can be found, though, in this actual Wikipedia thing. So I'm going to show you where to find it. So if you ever want to show, without having to sign out, if you ever want to show someone that line as the answer for who Edom are today, all you have to do is go on to, now let me go back so I can show you what I did. All right, this is the very top here. You're not going to be given this if you're signed in. Instead, they're going to give you this, and that's what you're going to be given, which is useless because after all, you didn't ask where, you asked who is Edom today. So, boom, right there, click on the Wikipedia for it that it offers, okay? And then you're going to scroll 1 paragraph, 2 paragraph, 3 paragraphs, and then you're going to go 4, 5, 6. We're almost there. Trying to find it. Oh my gosh. I don't think it's this far down. Hold on. I definitely missed it. It's up here. I'm going to show you where it is. That way you have it. It's like right by it's not that far down. Right here. Sorry it took me so long. And you probably already saw it while you're waiting on me to notice it. There it is. So, let me show you how far down it is from the top. There it is. You got 1, 2, it's in the 3rd paragraph. It's at the bottom of paragraph 3 on the Wikipedia page. That is the same exact quote. That is the quote they grabbed from Wikipedia and post, if you're not signed in, as the immediate answer when you ask the question at the top of the page on Google. But if you are signed in, you are not going to be given this right here on the top of the page. You are going to be given that. And they are not going to have that anywhere. You're going to scroll all over your phone or all up and down the page on your laptop or whatever. And you're not going to see this offered if you're signed in because they will have custom hid it from you so that all you get is this. And you'll have to know to click on Wikipedia and find that line at the end of paragraph 3. All right, so now you know about that. I'm sorry if I didn't cover all that before, but now at least we got that out of the way. And so I think I've shown you enough tonight to show you around this hood a little bit. Now you know about it. You know it exists. I've explained to you some other roads you can take to get into this hood, and they will actually drive you all around in totally different parts of the hood, which are all still like-minded. All the different parts of the hood are all one giant hood, and they all act together as the most vibrant community on all of YouTube. And so you will see all of the same type of rhetoric and propaganda and lies and hate speech spewed about white people, you know, in the other parts of the hood on YouTube. So, all right, white people's blood will be the payback for the blacks. All right, not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. The future of whites, of course, it says the future of Edomites. What does it say right next to it in brackets that are supposed to be parentheses, not brackets? But he doesn't know any better because he doesn't understand our white man grammar. It says Europeans. What are Europeans? White people. So what does his sentence say? What does his title say? What is the spirit behind the title that he has here? The future of whites. And if you were to click on this, you would get 51 minutes and 23 seconds of this loser using Bible verses out of context and or just spewing his own hatred and rhetoric and lies about white people. And none of it is a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. These whites can't find no ease, y'all. What we got here? White child chooses baseball over black history because he does not like black people. Good for you, little bass boy. All right. You don't have to like anybody you don't want to like, and you don't have to like anyone who's evil toward you. All right. Whites will go into slavery. There's another picture of you right there. There's a picture of your dad, your elderly dad. There's a picture of your little grandboy when he gets to be 20. There's a picture of your son in his 40s and you're at your old age and can't do nothing to help. That's the plan they got for your boys right there, for you and your boys, right there on top. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. All right, let's see here. I guess I've shown you enough for tonight. Gosh, I've been driving around in the hood here for quite a while, haven't I? You whites are the real bastards. All right. Whites will be in chains soon enough. All right. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Let's see here. Could you imagine? I don't want to sound like a conservative, but could you imagine if I was having the same titles on my videos? Blacks gonna be in chains soon, soon blacks gonna pay with their blood to us white people. Soon y'all blacks gonna be our slaves, we're gonna be your masters. Could you imagine if that's what I was posting? Man, my videos wouldn't last 5 seconds. The one I posted a while back got deleted and it hadn't even finished uploading. And thankfully, some folks got to watch some of it, and they actually were able to watch it before it was fully uploaded. So there were some folks that got to see some of it before it got deleted. But, I can't post any kind of stuff like that about them. I would immediately get hit and struck and deleted and the whole thing, man. Fully purged for talking this mess and spewing the hatred and vitriol about them that they do about us. And meanwhile, none of it is a violation from none of the hatred they spew about us. None of the literal, pure, actual, factual, real, reality hate speech that they spew about us all day and night on YouTube is ever a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. 2 whites get mauled by a grizzly bear. This is a celebration video about 2 whites being killed by a bear. This is a celebration of 2 white people being killed. A celebration. That's the spirit of this post, and that is the spirit of the title of this post and the direct meaning of this post as a celebration. He's not informing you just to let you know, hey, be on the lookout, for grizzly bears. They killed 2 people yesterday. Or, oh, just to let you know about something happened in the news. 2 white people were killed yesterday by a bear. No, this is celebrating. 2 whites got mauled by a grizzly bear. Woo! It's celebrating. That's what the spirit of this is. The spirit of this video at the top is all about. Yet, no violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. All right, what we got here? You whites are effing hypocrites. All right, what we got here? You whites will pay for what you've done. Let's see here. Whites, robbers of our heritage and land. Yeah. Oh, man. Meanwhile, they have heritage and land in other places, and they have no interest in returning to any of it. Let's see here. You whites are vile. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. What do we got here? Babylon is America. Edomites. So they know that we created America. That's them saying right here that America is ours and that we created it. And that they hate it. And that it's Babylon. And that we're Babylon because we created it. And America and us are both Babylon. It says it right there. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Prideful whites will get destroyed in the end, he means. Well, that's not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. You devils got a lot to pay for. And they put the Edomites in parentheses. That's to let you know that the community is talking about the white people. So it says, you devils, white people, got a lot to pay for. That's what that says. The whites have been the worst example and influence on the planet Earth. Of course, they don't know how to use worse or worst either. He did use a TH instead of 2 F's for Earth, though. That's kind of interesting. Impressive, even. Let's see here. Edom red Hebrew Edomites, your queendom is done. That means our feminine, weak, wimpy white world we created is done for soon. So he called us a queendom instead of a kingdom to give us the feminine, weaker vessel name to make us sound like we're inferior to their kingdom they're going to make, you see. All right. Stay strong, blacks. We're in the last stretch. The whites are making their last push. All right. What we got here? Whites learn that they are foreigners to the covenants. There's only one covenant at a time, and there was more than one covenant, but we're only under one covenant now, and you're not a part of it. Sorry. Oh, what do we got here? Whites calling out other whites as Russia calls out America. Babylon the Great. See? They all call America Babylon. And like I said before, plenty of our cucked whites do too. A lot of our lukewarms that are going to be spit out of Christ's mouth, they will also jump right on board with America being Babylon. All right. Let's see here. These whites gonna pay for disrespecting the Lord. Jeffrey Dahmer. Whites in rare form. And white's true nature. Even though it's in rare form. It's our true nature, but it's super rare form. Alrighty then. Dumbasses. Alright, let's see here. What do we have? Man, I could keep going on and on and on, but I guess I'll stop here in a minute. Here we go. Population of the whites is decreasing. This is a celebratory video. This is not something to just inform the people. It's not to raise awareness. It's not to give a warning. It's not to just notify people about common news. No, this is a celebration video, a celebratory video celebrating population of the Edomites, as they call white people, is decreasing. And then he puts white race in parentheses, so you will be very clear who he means when he says Edomites. Just like all the others are very clear when they say Edomites, who they mean. So, this celebration video about the decline of whites and the title, celebrating the population decrease of whites, not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Even whites are ready for Babylon to fall. What do they show in the picture for Babylon? The United States of America. Says it right there, the United States of Babylon. Stop putting these people in your government. They hate our country. They hate you. Whites' fate is sealed. They know they're the Edomites. They know they're going into captivity. You know what that means? That's them celebrating that they're going to make us their slaves. Here we go again with another video with the same titles we saw earlier. These Edomites, so-called white people, are psychopaths. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Now, granted, this one has no views and it's only 8 hours old, but it could last 14 years here and we'll never have a problem. You whites are totally done. Not a violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. So, I think I've gotten far enough that you get the idea. You get the gist of the picture. You understand this neighborhood a little better now. And you've seen some sights quite a ways around in this neighborhood. So, you know, if you decide to take a stroll in it yourself, it's real easy to do. I showed you some different roads you can take to get there. And, you know, just, you know, roll the windows of your tower PC up and lock the doors of your laptop and cruise on down through here and give yourself a read of some of these titles. And ooh, there we go right there. White girls attack blacks. Not hate speech violation of YouTube. Let's see here. Yeah, I think I've shown you enough to give you an understanding of the neighborhood and a good view around of it. And like I said, you're welcome to go check it out on your own. There's another one, a movie that says Esau, shows a white hand on it. Of course, what is the look at the three names. Look at the three names at the top of the movie that says Esau. Look at the very middle name there. What's the last name there of that middle name? Can't imagine who would have came up with that movie and decided that Esau should have a white hand there. Of course, Esau was white, so it is accurate, but we know why they've got that there. All right, so God bless you all. I just wanted you to see the difference between what we're allowed to do, which is everything we do is called hate speech or violation of YouTube's hate speech policy guidelines. Whereas you see here that in the hood they have free reign on YouTube to say whatever vitriolic and hateful speech about white people they want, all they want, in the titles, in the videos, all through the videos. Zero strikes from YouTube, zero complaints from YouTube, zero issues from YouTube staff. They have no problems with it whatsoever. And look, oh man, we was Rothschilds. Oh man, what? They was Rothschilds now? Oh, dude, that's a new one for me. I've never seen that. I'm literally stopped with that video at the top. I've never seen that before. I just happened to look down after I'd been scrolling slowly and I've just been talking and ranting. I look down and see this video title here. How hilarious. They was the Rothschilds now, y'all. Oh, man, that's hilarious. Oh, man, I'm so glad I ended up continuing to scroll until I hit that. That is fantastic. I'm going to have to... Oh, look, we hit the very bottom here. So, we hit the dead end of this street in the neighborhood. So, there you go. Can't get any further than that. But now, again, if all I did was just remove the letter S, it'll open up an entire new world. You know, it'll still show all the same ones you first saw when we first started scrolling. But it will offer more. And so, yeah, that's some funny stuff. I can't believe we saw that one there at the end. What was they? Oh, they was the Rothschilds now. Oh, man, that is funny. So, anyway, take care. God bless you all who are my people, my kindred people. And, yeah, YouTube staff. So, you know, maybe you do some strolling down this road and come through this hood once in a while and maybe see some of the things that violate your hate speech policy guidelines for once. All right? Take care. God bless y'all.